Welcome to Degrees of Separation. This game was just recently released for the PC. It's come out on Steam and I purchased it pretty much the second that it came out. It's an absolutely gorgeous 2D puzzle platformer game with a fantastic soundtrack, and it seems kind of fitting that it came out on Valentine's Day. I'm not going to explain too much as to why, but we're going to get into it and you'll understand as we start to play it. This game can only be played single player at the moment, but in the future, not too sure exactly how far into the future, they will allow there to be online multiplayer where you can do cooperative gaming with your friends. So I guess we'll get into that as soon as they upload that onto their game. Anyway, let us get started in the world of Degrees of Separation.
Ember awoke to a distant roar, like a great wind. Her dreams, usually warm and bright, had taken on the chill of ice and azure. He dreamed of a great wind, a roaring in the air like some great beast, and the faint smell of sulfur jolting him awake. RIME's dreams were restless, filled with dancing fires and a bright, almost blinding light. He was the last in a long line of heroes, the lone defender of the castle in the heart of this kingdom of ice. RIME lowered the drawbridge of his castle. As to what it guarded against, he realized he had no idea. As she emerged from the great oak that was her home, she noticed the once great trees of the forest were shattered, broken. It was as if a great storm had blown through, splintering all in its path, the roar that had awoken her. She ventured on, her curiosity growing as she climbed through the tree hollows. There was a growing chill in the air, and the branches stirred in the wind. The storm may have passed, but she knew another was on the way. The permafrost was melting. RIME felt a gust of warm wind and wondered if it had brought the wisp beside him. The winds had melted the ice bridges, causing new drops and chasms. But RIME could still use the cold to his advantage. He ventured on to the edge of his kingdom. There, he hoped to find answers. The great fire that gave life to her land was dying. Fissures had cracked open tunnels in the cliffs, and great jets of sulfur erupted from the ground. Yet she knew she could use these to her advantage. She hoped to discover from where the strange winds blew. RIME hoped he still had time. He passed the gates of his kingdom and found new tunnels revealed by the melting of the ice. The glistening water of the cave ran down the walls like tears, as if weeping at the melting of his world. Both stepped on the bridge together, matching each other's steps. Ember met Rime.
So I guess you can probably see why this is a bit of a Valentine's Day type of game. So there are two characters from opposite ends of the world. One fire, one ice. And it's going to be our duty to take both of them to exactly where they need to go, but we need to keep them together. That's what I'm assuming that we're going to need to do. We need to use both of these characters to solve specific puzzles in terms of the platforming. And it's a very beautiful and atmospheric game. I really like this.
A shimmering barrier separated them. On either side of this barrier, each carried their world with them. Neither knew what world they had come to, yet clearly, someone had been here long ago. As they rode across the sky, the two caught sight of a great castle in the distance. And over it, a dark shape soared into the air and was gone. Perhaps there at the castle, they would find answers to what threatened their worlds. Buoyed by Ember's warmth, they rose and descended when Rime's chill fell upon them. Of who had made these tunnels, there was no sign. Only by working together were they able to move forward. The wreckage of great mechanisms, wheels, and pulleys lay along the path. More structures lay ahead, forgotten in the overgrowth. Yet the road had been built with purpose in mind. They came upon a mine and saw what the mechanisms were for. The walls glittered, flecks in the rock shining like stars. It reminded them of the barrier between them, and wondered if there was a connection. Great power lay in the veins of rock, and someone had sought to claim it, and here they had failed. No matter whether touched by cold or warmth, they noticed the ore held its color. Finally, they emerged from the mine, and across the bridge ahead of them lay the great castle they had seen from the gondola. And so, side by side, but with a chasm between them, Ember and Rime came to the castle gate and opened it together.